Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. I have another Marine ECM, this time coming from North Carolina. John, this is your computer. It's a 350. Let me just read the information. I think I have it here because he didn't send anything on the note, but we have a conversation before. So let me just get all of that from here. It says that it's a 1995 Malibu Response with a Mercury 350 EFI tournament Sky engine. And his concern is no injectors. He had a mechanic actually looking at the boat, and they come to the conclusion that was actually there. I've been running the computer for a long time, multiple starts in no situations. Everything is working well here. So I tell him, I'm going to record a video so you can see all that here. So he will see all his computer with part number. The calibration on this computer is a 983E, which is correct, and we will see that in the diagram in a second. I'm going to move you over to my screen so we can see all the oscilloscope, the signals, so you understand. If you're new to the channel, well, I have connected here. I have created a harness so I can connect these computers with my simulators, where I inject the signals from the sensors, like the crankshaft position sensor, and then the computer responds to that to activate, in this case, the fuel pump relay that we see here. I put a test light and it's sort of the fuel pump for obvious reasons, right? I don't have fuel here. And then this box here is what is called an emulator load box. So these red lights are just power. The green light that you see here, what I'm covering with my hand, are the injector. This computer has two bank of injectors. It fires 4 cylinders per bank of injectors. And then the blue light is the coil. But to see better that detail, I have connected an oscilloscope, which is this tool here. It's like a multimeter that will graph those voltages onto a screen on a signal that we will be able to see how the signature, that's how it's called, mechanic wise or automotive wise, the terminology to describe the way you will see the signal on the screen. And again, this is just the simulator, which is already connected and it's been running because I've been running it. This in here is the ignition module in charge to fire that coil. On here we got some lights. We have this orange yellow light that you see on the distance is the fireboard reference, and will only come on when I have the fireboard reference present. The green on the bottom is the sensor ground, and the green red, now it's changing a little bit, you see now it's red, is the IAC, the idle air control valve. So all signals, everything is present and is active. All right, so I'm going to get to my screen. Let me get those two ready. All right, so this is the diagram on the left and the oscilloscope on the right. The blue channel, that's how you call the blue signal on the top, is injector bank A, and the red is injector bank B. As you see, they're both looking the same way, and the coil is firing, and we can see that representation on that image, which is great because you can understand if something is missing. And the reason I do this is because then I can see if we miss at any time during my tests a signal, one of those injectors line that is pulling down, those lines that see, it's the activation of the injector. The same thing on the green channel. If I see something that drops, then okay, something is dropping out, but it has not been the case. All right, on the diagram on the left side, I have the computer running at 675 RPM. So I'm going to put some of this on the bottom. I also been running this, so you will see and John for how long I've been doing this says. So right now it's been running for 72.8 minutes. So an hour and 12 minutes, and that doesn't take in consideration the time that I have turned it off, turn it back on, and so on, which is short, but it is. We have one trouble code is because I don't have the NOC electrical spark control, and I can move this to here, and you can see which we have code 43 electronic spark control malfunction. Again, I don't have the NOC sensor connected, and I do that on purpose. It's not required for what we're doing, and it's good to see if the logic of the computer is correct. So that is the only fault code that has been shown. Again, the calibrations check soon 983E, which is a stamp outside the computer, and it's matching, so that tells me there is no corruption on the calibration whatsoever. Everything is working good. And then the rest of the values, I can show you the throttle position, which I might keep in here just for the sake of the video. The rest, temperatures, even manifold pressure, I don't change because this is a control environment test. And his concerns were not firing. It's no injectors. He said that the mechanic, let me just read his note from the last conversation that I was having, because since he didn't write down anything, I said, hi John, I have been running my tests on your module and I cannot see anything wrong here. There is no information on your note. As far as I remember, you said no injectors firing, correct? That was my questions to him. And I sent pictures and everything about what you just saw as well. And I said I have good connection, I have good injection and cool firing. All sensor data is correct. And then he responds, yes, sir. The guy working on the boat was not getting the injectors to fire, open, and supply the fuel. When he jumped them out, they will open and provide fuel, thus the concern with the ECM and signal to the EFI system. Based on your testing, that doesn't look to be the case, and the ECM is functioning properly, correct? Question mark? And I said, yes, that is correct. I sent that I told him that I was about to record a video, and this is what I'm doing right now for him and for you guys. So this is important, and this is why it's so important. I tell this many times, working blindly as a old style mechanic, they used to work with, and test light and multimeters and all that is valid test too. But when you want to know if you're getting injector firing, you need to at least have a noise light so you can see at least something visual, right? It's when you're cranking the engine, do you see the light flickering? Well, the computer is activating that. Otherwise, then if it's no coil firing, well, maybe the computer is not seeing the crankshaft position sensor signal, right? Because if I remove the crankshaft position sensor signal, it will be no coil firing and no injector firing. And how do you know that? Okay, well then it should give you a fault code. This is a very old style system. So in 1995, right? Remember, better limited diagnostic, better limited fault codes, descriptions, and the computer is very basic. But at least we have that here. So how can you know if you're losing a crankshaft position sensor? Well, engine speed. What you can do is, I'm going to take the RPM off. You see, if I take the crankshaft position sensor signal, the computer is still powered up. Are the injectors firing or the coil firing? Of course not. Why? Because the computer is not seeing that input. That is what the sensors are. The sensors are inputs, coils, valves like the IAC valve, the injectors are outputs. The computer receives the inputs from the sensors and outputs the commanded injection time, coil firing, the opening of the IAC valve, etc. Right? So this is how that system works. But yeah, if we have no crankshaft position sensor signal, then it will be no coil firing. So I'm going to change the RPM to a very lower RPM to see if we get a response, because you saw that we were on 600 RPM. So I'm going to come down to very low RPMs. Let me go there and see how that'll do. You see, it's 176 RPM. This is like cranking. Do we got coil and we have injectors? We do. And I can change the time base, because right now on my oscilloscope, I have 20 milliseconds per division. So maybe, yes, you can see the lines going down. Those are the divisions on the screen. I can make that more. I can make that 50, 100, or even 200. And now you can see that on the screen, we get more of those firing of the injectors and of the of the coils, even at 175 or so RPMs. So how is the computer? Perfect. There is absolutely nothing wrong here. The coils can fire, the injectors are firing, even at low RPM. So what I think that might be happening, John, in your case, and again, guys, all I'm doing here is trying to help the customer, is that you are missing one of the inputs. Either the crankshaft position sensor signal, if the injectors are not firing, or your ESC ignition module is bad, because that is also part, if the computer is not seeing the signal going into the ignition module, which let me show you the wiring for that. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, I put these two images on the screen. Let's talk about the one on the right. So this is the same ignition module distributor, because it's inside the distributor. So let's read the one on the right side. It said the distributor ignition system receives signal supply voltage from the system relay through circuit 902. Disregard those circuits even though they're marked in there, but you can see what there's about to say in here. Through the system to the ignition coil connector B. Inside the ignition coil, the red connector terminal B is connected to the black connector terminal B. Supply voltage is delivered from the ignition coil black connector B to the distributor ignition control module plus terminal through circuit 3. Inside the distributor, the pickup coil pole piece will produce a voltage signal for cylinder spark. The voltage signals are produced in the ignition control module that I see that you saw here on my bench, and sent to the ECM. The ECM will decide if the engine is in cranking or running mode and adjust the timing accordingly. The voltages or signals are sent between the ECM and the ignition control module for spark control and for ignition, because this is the RPM signal. So on the right side, we have just talking about that spark system. But if we go now to the left side, we can see the ignition control, the distributor reference, which is J28, the bypass mode. And that is a signal that if it's in cranking, it will not adjust. And that's the only reason it's in there for. If you see there is a low RPM, it will go into bypass to let the vehicle start faster, right? The boat to start, the engine to start faster, because it's in low RPM mode. That's what the bypass system is for. I left that image in there because if in this case it's a Sky, I'm not sure if this Sky uses that switch or not. The shift switch is it's a very small dip switch that is in the shifter, and that can prevent the vehicle from a start or the boat from a start, because it's meant to kill the power to the ignition control module. So check that, John, because if that switch is there, even if you have again, yours is not a Bravo, but in the Bravo will be it says shift cutout switch. Bravo requires a jumper clip. So what that tells you is that realistically you can just leave a clip for either one, and will work as long as that is in there. You got that clip, it will have continuity, because that switch is in there. All it does when you switch, it knows and it presses and it closes it on the switch, and when you're not in the shift position, it will not allow the vehicle or the boat to run. That is just the reason why I put that in here. Alright guys, just a short video. I'm trying to help John and his technician to determine what the problem is, because I can definitely not have any I cannot find anything wrong with it. Again, I'm going to run the computer one more time here, because I turn it off, even though just the crankshaft position sensor, you can see that all the lights are on. I'm going to turn this off, let the computer go to sleep. You see the rest of the signals, and I just lost communication. You can see that in there. I just lost communication. Why? Because I turned the ignition off. I'm going to turn it back on so you can see the fuel pump prime. And we are back in communication. Well, if I keep that on the screen. Actually, let me just do the same way that I have it before. Let me run this in here, and let's run the computer. I'm going to increase my RPMs. Just give me 1 second, because I bring it down to that low idle. Remember of cranking RPMs for the test. Right, we're around what I use for idle, but we can see now injection, coil, everything is back in business. So is this computer working as it's supposed to? 100%. And I'm going to change the time based on my scope, which is not doing anything different than what you can see, right? So that's only for you to analyze the data. It doesn't change the output that you are the connections are, because I'm connected into the coil and into the injectors, and that's it. But this is just for you to see that. So I'm going to increase now the RPM. Let me put the RPM pit in the bottom, and I'm going to increase it to around 4,000. So you can see how now I'm not changing my time base on the oscilloscope, but you can see more injection firing and more coil, and the coil is changing. Why? Because it's now in a different RPM. You see how the signal on the coil went from, let me just slow down here so you can see how we have like almost like a 50-50. I'm going to stop the capture just 1 second so you understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to put a couple of cursors on here. So we have from here to here a low signal, and then from there to there the high signal. But from here to here it's almost the same time as up. So it's looking almost the same. So I'm going to keep running, and I'm going to increase now. You see how now the low side is getting wider, and the high side, which is the upper part, is getting very narrow. Why? Because it's firing really fast. That's what we're seeing, and this is where you can do analysis of the data of the injectors and on the coils, and that's what we're doing here, right? But no, everything is working as it's supposed to. So I'm going to go around there. We can see that we're not losing any of the injector firing or the coil. Everything is there. Disregard those little glitches you saw just there, just because it's aliases. I'm going to change the sample rate on my oscilloscope because it's yeah, I'm going to increase it, so because otherwise the sample rate is too small for what we need. That's all. The only thing that we were having in there. It's nothing wrong. And if I stop that, as that we key on the top on the oscilloscope, we get 64 windows. I can go back and I can show you that there's nothing missing, and this is how much you can do an analysis, because this is not just that you're recording, you see and it's gone. No, in this oscilloscope, the picoscope that I'm using is recording 60 frames, 60 waveforms all the time. So I can just go back and stop and go back and do an analysis to see if I'm missing anything. You see, now that we're here, you see a couple of glitches in here, and I guarantee you that is because why? Because my sample rate. So I'm going to increase the sample rate to 1 million sample rates. That should be enough to not see this again. And I want you to see that when I do that and I stop and I come back, it goes from 0 and now it's recording and recording and recording. But we're definitely seeing everything nice and smooth in here. I don't see nothing that I can consider a problem. I just made a mistake. Let me put this in here and that in here. So this is completely normal. Again, my signals are all there. Nothing that will create a no start condition or no firing of the injector. So let's go down to idle. I'm going to go down to around 600. And that's where we are right now. And we can see how the signal of the coil is completely different than what we saw before. Again, that's depends on how much zoom I have put in here. If I now go into 50 milliseconds, it looks closer to what we're seeing before. So it all depends how much detail or what you want to do the analysis on. But there is absolutely no other fault code than the 43 that we have. Again, that would not prevent the boat from running or the injectors from firing or the coil from firing. All right, guys, not trying to make this too long, but I'm trying definitely to help a customer here. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.